Hello. So my name is Alexander Borschel, and I am a public speaker. I've been doing this for the last 3 years, 4 years, and I've done it previously, especially because of martial arts and teaching classes. I've had class sizes up to 50 kids, up to 150 adults. So it's like I've had sizable audiences even outside of like scholastic learning, like say in college and things like that. And these videos are going to be going into ways to overcome your fears, techniques you can use. But in this video, I want to focus on the most important aspect of public speaking. And the problem is, I'm going to do it now. When you're public speaking, when they're usually looking toward that focus point somewhere, we usually have like a kind of North Star somewhere in the back. So when we're sweeping the audience or we choose a target and things like that, and we focus on someone to get their attention, to grab everybody's attention, um, as you can see, I'm talking to you, but now I'm talking with you. And this is done through a whole range of techniques. But the important thing is this creates a rapport and connectivity with your audience that is integral for human communication. And a lot of people forget when they're up there lecturing that they're not supposed to be lecturing, they're supposed to be public speaking. And public speaking, so it's like you can talk to a rock, but you can't speak with a rock. Or another way, you can't talk to a rock, you can't speak to a rock. It doesn't make sense grammatically, it doesn't make sense when you think about it. And that's because the rock doesn't correspond. In public speaking, even if you're the only one talking, you get a ton of cues from your audience. You can, within the first second of walking in, it's called reading the room, you gotta do it. You can see who's involved, you can see who's tired. And if it's in a scholastic setting or if they've paid to see you, yeah, they're gonna probably be involved. But if it's like you're a public speaker for a company and your crowd is just there, say like tourists or soldiers or something like that, where they have to be there, they don't really get a choice. Yeah, you're gonna get some people who are zoning out and things like that. If you do a bad job, it'll be the whole crowd. If you do a good job, you'll have every eye on you. And again, these videos are going to get more into that, but I want to broach first that the most important concept that we can work with is how to communicate with the audience, not to the audience. They're listening to us, they're not reading us. They're not reading us like we're reading them. And we're reading them for all the body language, all the noises, all the things they're doing. And it changes. In the past, they didn't have to worry about cell phones, they didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. And the reason I'm dressed like this is also to emphasize the importance that it doesn't really matter who you are, it matters on the content that you have. And when you express it well with people who are involved and who care about improving themselves or getting something out of it or whatever their motive is, as long as they have one, it can be a very positive experience. And furthermore, it helps you develop further as a public speaker by reading them. And if you're only talking to them, even if you're reading them, it's not going to do you much good because even if you adjust your techniques, you're still losing the crowd in a sense. And you want it to be almost like your best friends in a way. Like they may never have known you before, but by the end of it, they should feel like they know you ridiculously well. You're a person in their life now. They should remember you. This is your 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes to potentially create a memory that might change their life down the road. Because most public speaking is about communicating ideas, and most ideas, it's like planting seeds. Sometimes you have to wait, and then something magical happens because of that brief exchange of information. Now, there's a lot of things I'm doing in this video that are not what I would recommend someone doing in public speaking. But the context of technology, I think, is something that you have to consider. Like in days past, they didn't have to worry about cell phones or the techniques and how to address that. Like if someone's texting, usually you would focus on that person, not in a way that like humiliates them, but in a way that moves along the conversation and recaptures their interest, and also communicates to the crowd that you're involved. There's many levels to this, and we're going to break it all down over time. So this is just the intro video, so don't get all panicky and flustered. It's okay. Believe me, the way I like to think about it is the crowd's more scared of you than you are of it. And believe me, no one has anything to fear from anybody in a public speaking situation. I don't think in the modern age we really throw things at each other that much anymore. We have laws and stuff, so. Hope you guys have a great day, and I hope this gives you guys some food for thought on how you're going to be public speaking. Because if you were thinking about having some kind of pre-planned speech, you're talking to the audience, you're not talking with. I have never once written out a speech for public speaking. Sometimes I'll create little notes to remind myself of things that I've done, like in my personal life, because I just can't remember everything all at once. So it's like I might need like a little list, but I'm not going to be like, I opened the 4th Botanical Garden. I then work for Jerusalem Post teaching English, and I work in Rahat teaching English. And no, that sounds crappy. It sounds terrible. No, this sounds genuine. This sounds real. Me talking about how much I cared about the 4th Botanical Garden I built, me talking about the joy it brings me in working with people in Rahat and communicating with so many different Israelis and so many different cultures at the same time. Things like that allow you to connect with the audience. And that's what you really want. So, before I go into a long rant on how to public speak and make all the videos into one, I hope you guys have a great evening, and it was my pleasure.